The law of return states this: what is stabilised, authorised and released behind returns through physical visibility in front. This is the 7-minute daily focus, day 60 of 365. Today's focus, the law of return. Value holds the essence of exchange. Exchange expresses that essence, and what is released returns in proportion. The law of return states this: what is stabilised, authorised and released behind returns through physical visibility in front, not randomly, not emotionally, structurally. Behind, in metaphysical reality, thought possesses value. The nature of thought contains value, for it is an exchangeable, translatable entity. Value is authorized. Authorization permits translation. Translation moves into physical form, and return confirms completion. Pause for a moment. Understand this clearly. Return is not a favour. Return is not luck. Return is the structured echo of what has been released. If doubt is released behind, doubt returns in front. If certainty is released behind, certainty returns in front. If the thought of certainty is stabilised behind, which holds inherent value and is released without contradiction, that value returns as equivalent physical expression in front. Return is a law. A law is a rule of action. Return is therefore a rule of action. Many misunderstand return. They attempt to receive without first releasing. They expect harvest without planting, but the law remains unchanged. Seed precedes fruit. Release precedes return. Behind precedes in front. Return is therefore dignified, and it confirms maturity. It confirms readiness. It confirms equivalence. What comes back to you is equal to what has been stabilized and released with certainty. There is no loss in lawful return. There is only completion. There is continuity of structure. What you release in structure appears in structure in front. What you authorize with clarity returns as physically visible clarity. Let your awareness deepen here. Return is not delayed generosity. It is structured response. It is translation completing its arc. It is equivalence cycling back to origin. It is the system confirming itself. Behind builds cause. In front reveals effect. Return closes the circuit. The sequence remains active as long as authorized thought is released with certainty. The moment release is withdrawn, physical expression pauses. Return is not passive waiting. It is confident expectancy. It is hope grounded in actuality. Because what is real behind must complete itself in front. The echo cannot refuse the sound. The reflection cannot deny the form. Let us go further, deeper, fuller. The law of return is not merely a cycle. It is completion in motion. It is the quiet certainty that nothing authorized behind remains unanswered in front. Return is the structural assurance that reality closes what it opens. Consider how this operates beneath awareness. Every thought you stabilize with conviction acquires momentum. Every conviction you authorize with certainty acquires direction. When that direction is released without contradiction, it must complete itself. Return is that completion, not forced, not negotiated, fulfilled. Return therefore carries memory. It remembers what was planted. It remembers what was approved. It remembers what was released. Physical visibility in front is not a new event. It is the visible continuation of an earlier authorization behind. Many attempt to interrupt this law by doubting midway. They release authorized thought, then retract confidence. They release clarity, then question its physical expression. But interruption only delays completion. When certainty remains steadfast, return proceeds without resistance. Understand this with precision. Return is not generosity from the outside world. It is alignment responding to itself. It is structure recognizing structure. It is order concluding its sequence. When you release disciplined effort behind, Recognition of that discipline must surface in front. When you release integrity behind, trust must answer in front. Return also clarifies responsibility. If resentment returns, resentment was authorized. If confusion returns, confusion was permitted. The law does not accuse, it reflects, it does not condemn, it completes. This awareness restores mastery. It places refinement back where it belongs, behind. Let your thinking deepen here. Return is precise. It does not overreact. It does not exaggerate. It mirrors tone for tone, weight for weight, measure for measure. The echo carries the exact character of the original sound. This is why release must be conscious. What you repeatedly release becomes the pattern of your physical return. Speech released carelessly appears as strained relationships in front. Speech released deliberately appears as strengthened trust in front. Attention released with discipline appears as ordered opportunity in front. The law remains exact. Return also sustains continuity. It prevents stagnation. When you release the inherent value of thought with certainty behind, physical expression replenishes in front. When you invest disciplined effort behind, visible effect strengthens in front. The system is regenerative. It renews through lawful sequence. Behind is origin. In front is confirmation. Return is reconciliation between the two. It reconciles cause and effect. It reconciles intention and outcome. It reconciles seed and harvest. When the circuit is honored, confidence deepens. Expectancy becomes calm. Hope stands firm because actuality stands behind it. Return therefore cultivates composure, not passivity, active composure, an active steadiness that knows what has been authorized behind must complete itself in front. There is no anxiety in this understanding. There is sequence, there is certainty, there is law. When you release authorized thought today, release it cleanly, release it without fear, release it without fragmentation. Trust structure, trust sequence, trust the law that completes what it begins. Return is not a possibility, it is an inevitability, by order, by proportion, by law. Let me make this unmistakably clear. Return is appearance. Return is the physically visible confirmation that what was authorized behind has completed translation. Return is not hidden. It is seen. It is measurable. It is tangible. It stands in front as evidence of structure. When return appears in front, it is not emerging from nowhere. It is the outward crystallization of an inward approval. It is the moment when metaphysical certainty condenses into physical visibility. The unseen becomes seen, the authorized becomes expressed, the approved becomes embodied. Physical expression is not separate from cause. It is the final sentence of a completed thought. It is the last movement of a structured sequence. It is the visible signature of what has already been decided behind. Nothing in front writes itself. It is written behind and printed in front. Return is that print. This is why return must be honored. It is the moment where reality declares what was authorized has now become visible. It is the closing of sequence, the sealing of structure, the confirmation that translation has finished its course. Do not mistake return for coincidence. Do not reduce it to circumstance. Return is the physical testimony of metaphysical governance. It is the body of what was once invisible. It is the fruit of a seed that was deliberately authorized. Look carefully at what stands in front of you. Every visible condition is a returned authorization. Every structured opportunity is a returned approval. Every repeated pattern is a returned decision. Return does not invent. It reveals, it displays, it confirms. When this becomes clear, fear dissolves, impatience dissolves, comparison dissolves, because what stands in front is never greater than what was authorized behind, and what is authorized behind must eventually stand in front. This is certainty, this is sequence, this is law. Effect stands in front, return stands in front, confirmation stands in front, cause resides behind, authorization resides behind, release resides behind. Affirmation for day 60, what I release in structure. returns in proportion. I stabilize value behind. I authorize it with certainty. I release it with clarity. Return confirms the law. By order, by the law of return.